Hi, Chandana. Here we go
Hi.
again.
Thank you for making me do this.
So
Every time I try to hide and I try to run away, you're like, Chandana, can we do it? And I'm like, I'm busy. Okay, we'll do it.
I'm like a quickie, even if it's just 10 minutes, like, because you have
I love
tomorrow a
that.
little business done different class, slay in the, like, what is the title? I was like, what's that even meaning?
Slay the business way.
So, what do you mean by that? Like, what's it all about?
Well, it really is the energy of would you like to create the business your way? Would you like to kill all the limitations that you've put in your own place with business, all the obstacles that you've so beautifully spent time with, placing them at the right corner, at the right turn. And you're like, oh, I'm going to make this man my biggest obstacle. Let's make my boss the obstacle. And then I get to blame him and I get to play victim. So it's really about getting out of that and even acknowledging that I'm the one who's actually put them there. They didn't just get planted there. All of this is my choice.
Yeah, that's so good. I was just having a conversation with someone yesterday about how psychologist works and how they like what like make you the observant of the situation, but there's still that energy. Something's happening to you, and like I have a different point of view. Like whatever happens, like comes along your way, it's you project something out into the world. Like there's an energy you sending where someone else like, oh, I can deliver that. Let me come into your world and fuck you over, and then you can pretend to be a victim.
Yes, Simon, that. And it's so interesting how, everything that's being played out in your mind. Like we talk so much about the mind, we talk so much, we don't really acknowledge the brain, but we speak so much about the mind because the mind seems to be growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and the brain seems to be shrinking and shrinking because where the brain is really a contribution, the body, the part of your body, an organ of your body, and now that gets taken over by literally an automatic responder system that's creating the mind that just keeps feeding your mind and making it grow and making it grow. And it all comes from your thoughts, feelings, and emotions and the past. That's how your mind grows. It goes to understanding why, it goes to explaining to yourself why you can't do something, why something showed up, how something can't change, instead of asking a question. Because when you ask that question, you actually melt the mind. You start to make the mind starts to shrink because it doesn't get food. It's literally like whatever you feed will grow. So if you're feeding your mind and you're feeding yourself with fear and thoughts and feelings from the past, instead of asking yourself questions and being in the wonder of how can I create a business. And again, you may or may not get an awareness around that, or you may or may not, um, it may not, that bell may not suddenly ring and be like, oh, this is your answer. But you do create a space for yourself where if you're going to allow yourself to be in that space, you start to receive a different way of being that has it showing up in this reality as a different way of doing. But what you're really being is that you're taking action that shows up as
Yeah.
an actualization in this reality.
To me, it's oftentimes when people do that overthinking of things and
Yeah.
going to the problem of it. I literally see it as if you distract all possibilities, you eliminate the possibilities and create a black and white canvas. There's good and bad, black and white, but you're the one putting away the colors. And
Yes.
I listened a lot to Zach Bush. He's just such an inspiration because I have since like he has an awareness of a very different future. And he spoke about the monoculture, like when we are like not with nature anymore, like and that is that monoculture of right and wrong, which is basically what the mind does, and like everything
Yeah.
is like all the same. But nature is vibrant and full of different possibilities, and so are we if we choose.
Yes, Simon, it's so interesting you talk about nature, and it's nature's actually always showing us who and what we can be. It's like, hey, you can be me. Look, I got my petals fallen off, but I'm still smiling. I didn't shrink. And it's like constantly showing us who it can be. Like a little, when the say for instance, if there's a flood in a land, or if there's a fire, or if there's one of those natural calamities, where people go into so much of fear and so much of if, what not, and and all those different kind of questions which generally come from dread and fear and anxiety. Nature once again just starts to grow. It doesn't care. It's like, oh, okay, washed away, but the weeds will again grow. And you suddenly find a little flower growing somewhere, and you'll see the tree that you thought was actually broken and killed and fallen off or whatever, suddenly sprouting little leaves. Because that is the law of nature. It's
I
constantly
even
growing.
I'm not quite sure what's the time frame, but like if mankind would be out of the way, like all the asphalt, all the mankind built things within half a year, if nature would have just be by itself, would take over. Like there would be grass and like
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's
You know,
us
I,
making the block into what we
yes.
think should be. Yeah.
Yeah. I read a really funny a question, and it made me laugh so much. And the question, I'm going to ask you that question. I wonder if you're going to have the same answer. But the question was, if you could delete anything from the planet Earth, what would you?
Oh, there's so many things. What would I delete? Maybe that ability to disconnect from nature.
Wow, that
Like, what if
beautiful.
we are not able to ignore what's true?
Yeah. Like I got exclusion. I said, what if I could just delete exclusion? What if I could just press that button, delete, and exclusion no longer exists on this planet?
Yeah, like
It's just
ability
yes.
to disconnect, not
Yeah,
available. Like, hello,
not
Anand.
available, not available anymore. What if it's that easy? What if it's just that simple? But we make it so difficult, and we are like, oh, but exclusion is real and it's true. Yeah, it's true if you make it.
You know what I love to say sometimes in people in participants in my classes, like, if you would be God, what would be the things that you would change? I mean, it's like I talked to an Indian, like, how many goddess do I have to address here, or
Oh,
gods?
many, many. Trust me, many.
Yeah, like, but if you would have that, like, would be that God that really can change everything, what would you change?
Yeah, that. What would you
It's a
change?
similar question. And then, like, what if that's the areas where you have the greatest capacities, but you might wait for a God to take action, whilst you being the one, maybe the only one with the awareness and the capacities to create change here? Would you choose it or?
Yeah, like when you ask that, the first what I really got is, what if what if kids didn't have to give up their joy for living? What if we no longer taught, what if we could allow them to be that, and we didn't have to teach them to give up their wonder. We didn't have to teach them. We're literally teaching them give up your wonder. We're literally teaching them give up your joy. We're literally teaching them get scared. We're literally teaching them because they don't know all of this. And we've all been taught that, and we've all come from that space of where we know everything's possible, and there's joy and there's laughter, and you can smile being toothless, and you can smile with being a tooth. It doesn't matter. And you get all these different kind of barrages of these different points of views and these different judgments, which get you cramping up and being like, oh, can I just hide somewhere so no one gets to see me? What if
Hmm.
that could be deleted?
Love it. And as I say, like, you go to this thing first, and is that where you have gigantic capacities? Like, and then, like, and I know you do with the conscious parents, conscious kids classes. So really play with this energy of what you know there. And this is so huge. And we all have it. Like, other people have, like, I would never have animals treated badly. Okay, you might have gigantic abilities to change that part, but that can only show up when you go to question, not to the judgment. There's something bad. You nurture. If you judge something as bad or good, I mean, but especially things you judge as bad, you keep in existence with your energy there. If you're like, okay, I want to change this. What do I know here? What can I be for something different? There's a very different approach.
Yeah, and Simon, what if we didn't even need to go to, I got to change this, but from a space of what possibility can I add here? Okay, what is that one little molecule, that one little element? Like I look at business like that too. Like for me, my business is like a baby cup. you know it's like I'm always playing with it, I'm having fun with it. It's like a little puppy. It's showing me where to go, how to go. It's fearless, it's having fun. It doesn't stop itself, and my business is like that for me. And when I create with the business, I'm like, and if I look at something, and I do even now sometimes go to, oh, I have this problem with my business, and instantly I go to, no, what possibility is this? Whoa, business, what do you know? Like it's like a little puppy that walks out and walks into a jungle, and you're like, why did you go to the jungle, little puppy? You're going to be killed by a snake. But the puppy goes, then gets friendly with another animal and brings home another animal with it. What fun! What if your business can be like that? Goes out and plays with other businesses and brings home more business.
Hmm.
you know it's a different way. It's a wild and a crazy way of creating. But each one of us is wild. And would we allow our business to be wild?
I
Or do
love
we
it.
have need to control it and tame it and fix it? Wow, this is a crazy conversation.
I love those conversations. And I know there's more conversation about this tomorrow at um, CET time. It's 4 p.m. CET. What's it in India?
7:30 p.m. India time. And
So,
it's a gift call. So, we'll have some more crazy conversations like this around business and around having fun with business and just allowing ourselves to be wild.
yeah. And I wonder what business would like to join. And I know Chandana also have a 3 or 4 day class of business, like program business done different. Like if you say like, hey, I know I want to have more different conversation because I know my business is on a point where there is something else required, or sometimes you have an awareness something is required, but you don't quite know how to get there. That might be an idea for you. So
Oh, thank you. Thank you for, yeah, for being that beautiful invitation that you be, Simone, and for actually engaging with the elementals with business. And we've been having so many conversations around business, the two of us, over these few months. And a few have been on Facebook, as Facebook lives. A few have just been you and me. But every time that we have these different conversations, there's a different door that opens up for us. And it's like, what if you didn't have to control your conversations? What if you didn't have to control you? What if you didn't have to control your business? What if you just allowed it to flow?
and you know what else is showing up? Like we all have such a different way of being and asking. And what if you would allow really to receive from everywhere? Like
Yeah.
I'm enjoying these conversations with you also so much because like you look from a very different point of view at things than I. And that's such a
Yeah.
bringing that together is like,
That's what's
whoa.
fun, right? When you look at it from there, and I'm like, oh, really? And what we create is that chemistry, that what goes on in the lab, and there's like, oh, boom,
It's like
that pretty much shows up.
inspiring like something new. And I love that so much. And I would love the world to have it. Yeah. And it's a
Yeah,
choice.
absolutely.
So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, every moment is a choice.
thank you so much. And see you tomorrow at the free event.
Yes, looking forward. Thank you, Simone. And thank you, everyone who joined us. See you all tomorrow. Don't forget to sign up. Bye.